Hello, YouTube. My name is Clarissa, and I have a few stories to tell y'all. This has been happening to me, experience that I've been having. Okay, so one experience I had when I astral project. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I did it. All I know is I was in my mama's room. I was laid back. I was looking at TV, and then all of a sudden, I guess I drifted off somewhere else because all I remember from that was I woke up and I was in this other place and I was walking, and the density of this realm was so thick. It's like I couldn't really walk through it. I was struggling to walk through it, and I was just, I don't know. I was really confused because I don't know how I got there. And I was aware of who I was. I was aware where I was at. But I was like, what the? I'm walking. So I looked to the left of me. I saw this brown brick building. And it was like, had a glow orange to it. I guess it was a reflection of a light pole. And as I was walking through this atmosphere, this thick atmosphere, I saw two of my cousins. And let me give you the background on these people. I had a cousin that died when she was 12. And this was back in 1997. We was around the same age. I was just a couple months older than her. But all I know is she got killed when she was 12 back in 1997. And she had a brother and a sister. So, now I told you that. Now back to the story. I saw my two cousins, her brother and her sister. I saw them with a wagon, and they had like some kids in it because now they have children. They didn't have children when she was alive because they were little bitty kids. They were like what 8, 9 years old, and she was 12. So in this realm, they looked the same age they would have looked if they was 8 or 9 years old. Probably they look so different, but your face changes in lower realms and higher realms too. So they looked a little different. And I was looking at them and I wanted to wave, but they were looking at me like they didn't know who I was. They were just staring at me crazy, like, who is she? Like, oh my God, what is that? That's how they were looking at me. So all of a sudden, I just turned my attention I took my attention off them and I went straight ahead and I saw this bench. And it was a bench just sitting outside. It was just 3 people sitting on the bench. And the first 2 people was blotted out. They were black. They were like shadow figures sitting on the bench. And then all of a sudden I kept walking. And then all of a sudden my cousin Veronica, the one that's dead, she just stood up right in my face and said, "Hey girl." And when I saw her, and when she said that, I instantly like caught my breath. It's like I woke back up in my mama's room, but it's like I wasn't breathing. I wasn't even breathing. And I just said, I just caught my breath and everything. I guess maybe I gasped in my dream state. I gasped when I saw her. It shocked me. And that really woke me up. Because I was like, wait a minute, she's dead. Why am I seeing her? I'm like, oh my God. She looked so tired. She looked wore down. Like she was like she was tired. So I know that I was in a lower realm. And I hope that I was just in a lower realm of one of my lower selves. But I hope she's not lost or she's in a lower dimension. I hope she didn't fall into a lower dimension where she don't know that she's alive, or dead. So that scared me. That startled me to death. I was like, oh God, what am I gonna do? So that was one thing that happened. I had other incidents, so many. I can't really say all of them right now, but I had this one experience where I was in my room, sleep, Normally I'm supposed to be in bed asleep, but it was around like, I don't know, early morning hours, like what, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And all I remember was I was sitting up in my bed with this fear in my heart, and I was so afraid, and I had my head turned towards the window. I kept my head turned towards my window, but to my left was my door. My door always closed now. As a reminder, my door always be closed when I go to sleep at night. But on this particular night, my door was wide open. It was just wide open. I know my door was supposed to be closed. I know nobody ain't gonna just open my door and leave it open. They know to close my door. So my door was just wide open. So it's like this force of energy kept pushing my face towards them, towards, whoever they were. I guess they wanted me to see them or look at them. And I didn't want to. I kept turning my head. And my heart was beating so fast. I was so afraid. And I just kept turning my head like this. But they kept pushing me that way to look at them. And I just remember it was this tall entity, dude. It was a man. But he was invisible. But his clothes, he had like a black looking sweater or black shirt or something on. I knew it was black. I seen the color black. He had on black. But his torso area and everything else was invisible. Like he was invisible. His face, hair, everything. It was just a floating sweater. If you hold up a floating sweater and just pretend it's a ghost, like that's how it looked. But it seemed like it had like an outline of who they were. Like, I can't really explain it, but they were invisible. But I still seen the invisibility thing in their. I don't know. It looked funny, but I kept looking. They kept making me look at them, and I noticed that he walked past my door, and he stopped and he turned and he looked at me, and he bowed twice to me. He just took a bow, just like he bowed all the way down, waist down. He bowed, and I was still sitting in my bed, pumped with fear, not understanding what's going on. Who is this? And they just was standing there, and they had my face. They didn't use their hand. They were using an energy force or something, like a force, like making me look at them, like, look at me. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's just how it felt. And I don't know, it's like he just was holding me to look at him. It's like the more I looked at him, the more my heart was beating so fast. And it's like as I kept looking at him, it's like I was trying to see who he was. But I still couldn't, it still wouldn't let me see. But he was just standing there by my door, just looking at me for a long time. Until he finally let me go. And that was relief. But I had a lot of those experiences where these invisible beings would come to me, and I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's me protecting myself from seeing who they really are, or if they the ones disguising themselves, or they don't want me to see who they are. So I had plenty of experience where I was in a sleep paralysis, and I always feel somebody touching me, or touching my face, or shaking my shoulders. Always somebody trying to wake me up or do something, but they don't want me to see who they are. I don't understand that. So deep down, I know that they're trying to protect me from, I'm not ready for that kind of truth right now, I guess. I'm not ready to know who's behind those, invisible energy beings. I don't know who it is, but I know it's probably somebody I know. And probably if I see them, I'll probably like, probably won't believe it, So that's what I'm thinking. But I had so many of those experiences, and I'll be able to tell y'all the rest because I'm just getting started. I got more to tell you. See you later.